Number one word I would use to describe Stacey is courageous.
I'd say probably tenacious, courageous, and mainly because she's forced to live in a house with me, I'd say tolerant.
I would describe her as strong, courageous, and awesome. I love her a lot. Really.
My name is Stacey Scibelli, and I am a mother of 3 boys and a yoga instructor, and I have Crohn's disease.
Stacey was a child of the late 70s, born into an Italian household with lots of food and lots of noise. Stacey was very active as a teenager. She was outside all the time, played tennis competitively, and even sailed boats.
I found out I had Crohn's disease in late 1995. It was August. My oldest son was about 1.5 years old.
Did you know what that meant or what Crohn's disease even was when you were diagnosed?
I had never heard of it, and I knew nobody who had been diagnosed with Crohn's. It's shown up in my ileum primarily, but I am one of those cases that they will say Crohn's disease will usually isolate itself in one area of your intestinal tract. Mine has not. So I've had surgery in the ileum. It's shown up in the jejunum. I have it in my stomach and in my rectum and in my mouth. The ulcers will get really bad. But the inflammation and the swelling and all that is primarily in the stomach, the jejunum, the ileum, and the rectum. When I was diagnosed, I knew there was something wrong, and when I went to the doctor initially, I was told that I had been on a cruise, that I had contracted a parasite, so I had been on medication for a parasite and it didn't go away, and then I was told that it was the flu, and the flu didn't go away, and then I went back and I was told that it was anxiety and stress, and put on medication, and it still didn't go away. And to be honest, I had never heard of Crohn's disease, but all I could think of was it was stomach cancer, because that's the only thing I could liken it to. I couldn't stop throwing up. I couldn't stop with chills and shakes and sweats. I lost 35 pounds in less than 2 months. And it wasn't until I noticed something in my file from the infectious diseases doctor that said that this is something more, that I demanded that my primary care give me the test that they had required, which back then was an upper GI series, lower GI series, a colonoscopy, and an endoscopy. And so it wasn't until I got those tests that we had answers. I have had so much of the small intestine taken out that I actually have short bowel syndrome. You know. So I have nothing in my system that absorbs any of the vitamins or minerals or the things like your B vitamins and that's all absorbed in the small bowel, and I don't have any of that anymore.
A normal digestive tract has about 600 centimeters of small intestine, which is shown in this picture. However, a person with less than 200 centimeters because of surgeries or other reasons is diagnosed with short bowel syndrome, like Stacey, shown in this picture.
I currently go to Southeast Valley Gastroenterology, and I see Dr. Manish Amin. He is my gastroenterologist, and he specializes in Crohn's. When I'm having really bad flares, I don't travel far from home, so, that's a problem. Going out to eat for me is not like going out to eat for other people. I have a lot of different restrictions that keep me from just going to any restaurant. And if I go to a restaurant, I also have to think, am I coming right home after? Or am I with people I'm comfortable with? Because anything can trigger it. If you go to a restaurant and you're not quite sure how they prepare something, there are certain things that will trigger it, and I'll be sick, and we have to go. So.
My name's Don Motes, and I'm Stacey's husband.
When did you guys get married?
Oh, man, you're going to get me in trouble. It was June 19th, and I want to say it was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. She has been dealing with Crohn's. I'm not sure the exact date. I would say mid to late teens. And she's had a lot of barriers due to the illness, and she consistently overcomes these barriers, and she's very courageous in how she deals with the issues that come up related to the Crohn's. She handles most of it. She takes most of it in stride. She's very tough.
Is it hard to see Stacey struggling with Crohn's?
Yes, it's very hard. It's very hard to witness.
I'm Scibelli, and I'm Stacey's middle son. Well, she's a really big part of my life, obviously. I mean, she's still taking care of me a lot of my life, and she's still very active in my life with fundraisers and taking me to practice, taking me to sports events, taking me to my friend's house, pretty much just being there for me. She is able to do all that even with her situation, which I kind of find inspiring.
My name is Wyatt Scibelli, and I'm her son. I'd say we're really close because throughout my whole life I've been kind of a mama's boy, and every Sunday we still get together and watch Walking Dead together, and it's awesome.
How has the condition impacted your relationship with your family and friends?
I have amazing family and friends, so they're super understanding, and my close friends and my family are really great about, understanding what the roadblocks might be, and that there are certain things that I need in order to feel comfortable when I go places. I need to know where the bathrooms are, and I need to know, what's on the agenda, and I always carry medication, so it's nice for me to know that if I have to take a medication that won't allow me to drive, that there's someone who can drive me home. So I have to say I'm pretty lucky in that way, and my kids have been super supportive. My kids were raised with it for the most part, so there were times we would be in a store and I would just say, I called it a wave, I'm having a wave, and we'd drop everything and we'd leave, or we'd drop everything and we'd all go to the bathroom and then we'd leave. So they've been super understanding from the beginning. On a very bad flare-up day, I would get my kids to school, or find someone to get my kids to school, and then I'd come back here. And I'd have to medicate, or if I didn't medicate, I would pretty much be on the couch, laying down, stay close to the restroom, stay close to, and watch a lot of bad TV, because there's really nothing else that I can do at that point.
Every once in a while she has a really, really bad sick day, and she has to take pills throughout the day and sleep it all off, so I don't really get to see her during those days.
How has your diet changed since you were diagnosed with Crohn's disease?
My diet. Well, I can't eat fruit, and I can't eat vegetables, really. On a good day, I can eat some cooked vegetables, but for the most part, it's something like pasta or bread that my system can't handle it. I don't eat dairy. No milk. I have switched over to almond milk or coconut milk or hemp milk. No high-fat foods. No high-fiber foods, really. I'm trying to shift now with a vegan diet to try and add some different things in and see how that goes. Our house eats all organic and nothing processed.
In a lot of ways, I've got to stay on top of her making the right choices for what she's eating, because sometimes my mom is mature and all-knowing as she is, can be a little juvenile and decide to sneak in something she's not allowed to eat. So a big role in my life that I've kind of half-jokingly assumed is food police, she likes to call me. And I like to tell her what she's not allowed to eat if she's about to make a decision that would make her sick, and it's kind of a half-joking way for me to remind her not to make herself sick.
Are there any certain activities you do to take your mind off of the disease, or activities that actually aid in preventing symptoms?
I do a lot of yoga. I also meditate twice a day. every day. And that is huge, because what it has allowed me to do is when I'm having pain or when I'm sick or when I'm not feeling well, it helps to calm me down. And my illness is a stress-induced illness, so when I meditate, it helps me to not reach those stress levels where I know I'm going to have symptoms.
Yoga is a physical activity where breath control and simple meditation are practiced, performed to attain physical and mental well-being. Many people think that yoga is just stretching. However, it is about creating balance in the body through strength and flexibility. Each pose has different health benefits.
Meditation, like yoga, has been practiced for thousands of years. It is a mental exercise which uses controlled breathing and the repetition of a mantra to produce a deep state of relaxation and spiritual awareness. Stress reduction is the main benefit to one's health, along with enhanced physical and emotional well-being resulting from this exercise.
This is called a yoga nidra, or a deep, wakeful, waking meditation. So I'm bringing Jordan almost down to sleep, but he is still aware. It's called like a waking sleep. It's very deep, slowing down the brain waves, relaxing his entire body. I have been able to get off painkillers. I've been able to sleep better. It's definitely helped. My initial flare-up with the Crohn's, it helped calm that down.
Stacey is also fond of yoga nidra, which is one of the most relaxing types of yoga. 45 minutes of yoga nidra is equivalent to about 3 hours of good sleep. If done multiple times a week, it can be restorative. A relaxing incense and a white noise in the background is sometimes used to create a more relaxing environment.
Simply allow the breath to breathe itself.
How did that yoga nidra make you feel?
It really calmed me down, and it made me feel tired, actually. It felt like I was about to fall asleep, but I actually wasn't. I would recommend it to people who are ill or are really stressed out.
Probably almost 2 years ago, I started with yoga, a year and a half ago. And, bit by bit, it made me feel a lot better. I've noticed I have fewer flare-ups. I have noticed that I'm able to do a lot more. And so I feel like it's worked really well for me. But I started about a few months ago at the Southwest Institute of Healing Arts. I am getting my diploma in yoga and holistic nutrition and transformational Reiki.
Would you consider yourself disabled and in need of more leniency? Why or why not?
Yes. Crohn's disease is on the list of disabled conditions for the Department of Social Security. I try and do my best as a person living with Crohn's disease, not someone who identifies myself as disabled because I have Crohn's disease.
What is the message you want to send out to everyone else about Crohn's disease?
That Crohn's disease, you probably know someone with Crohn's disease, an uncle, a cousin, a friend. It is one of the fastest growing chronic illnesses diagnosed in our country. It is not just about the bathroom. It is about your whole autoimmune system attacking itself. It affects everything. Gives you arthritis. It affects your energy level. It affects pain. It affects how you eat and what you do and where you go. So it is, I think, a pretty serious illness that right now they can only try and treat the symptoms and they have no cure.